ZA is a songwriting and vocal duo. We write Xhosa music. We are very particular about that. We met at UCT. We lived in the same res, and at the time we needed to do like a one-night cultural event for res, and so we kind of all got round up together by Ayanda, who was culture rep at the time, to put together just a repertoire and a list of music for that one night. And then we started getting a lot more bookings, and we started featuring a lot more people. Eventually it was a beautiful 6-piece band, which was then called Cliffhangers. But Ayanda and I would always kind of inevitably take leading roles when it came to arranging the music, choosing the set list, running rehearsals, and then we found that we just really enjoyed how our relationship flowed and how we wrote and arranged together, and so we stuck together. We then became Thesis ZA in 2014 officially.
Yeah. I think when it came to choosing what to sing by Mama Makeba, it was a matter of what resonates with us based on, her intentions behind the songs that she made, the stories behind each song, and then, of course, her political motivation. So with a song like Mbube, which comes from, very early on in her discography, which is very much about taking a song that is from the rural areas of KZN, mixing it up with, other bits of Xhosa music, which is, in her particular situation, from, the witch doctors. I mean, I actually hate that translation.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like English doesn't do that justice. But and then making those into extremely high-tech, vocal arrangements, and kind of really meshing different sensibilities into one song. That for me, and how that just essentially comes from just wanting to share traditional music with the rest of the world, resonated deeply with me. And of course we love the arrangement. I think the way that she arranged the songs was really most special.
My people, open your eyes and answer the call of the drum. Frelimo, Samora Machel has come.
Oh!
Maputo, home of the brave, our nation will soon be as one. Frelimo, Samora Machel has won. A luta continua. Haluta continua, haluta continua, continua. Mozambique, haluta continua, haluta continua, continua. Mozambique, haluta continua, haluta continua, continua.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I was just running that verse so I can
Yeah, we're going from the beginning.
muscle memory of it.
Look, I think speaking for myself, and I think speaking for what I understand our journey to have been up until this point, we always knew that it would be tough to have people, not tough, but a little bit more challenging because of the language barrier, to have people really tap into and relate to what we have to say, but that those who did would understand it in a far more impactful way than, you know, our white counterparts, for example. So I think what I get from her career and what she was able to do with it, and I think I spoke about this to you the other day, is how a lot of the times when you're trying to play around with certain sounds, with certain, you know, lyrics, with various aspects of music creation, sometimes we lose the honesty. Her music was rooted in honesty. And we had a quickie experience the other day where we're in the process of recording an album, and so we're kind of playing around with various arrangements and various ways to put songs together. And I think what's really worked for us is being true to ourselves and being honest. And like she said, the only way that we can truly articulate ourselves is in our own language, truly display what our lives look like, how our experience, our various lived experiences differ, how they marry each other. The only way that we can truly express ourselves as human beings, as artists, is by being true to ourselves. And so I think that's a key thing that I consider when I look at even the way that European markets have accepted and embraced our music. Is that they may not understand what we're saying, they may not know, what emotion we're trying to convey sometimes, but it hits them in a way sometimes that it doesn't hit people here, which is often very interesting. And I think we take for granted a lot of the times some of our own struggles, because I think also, for the most part, media sensationalizes a lot of things, and I think some of our struggles are romanticized in mainstream media. So I think we don't really understand the depth of the things that we've gone through. And when some people hear it coming from someone other than themselves or people close to them, they can really kind of get into it a little bit more, relate to it a little bit more. So I think if everything is rooted in honesty, there's no telling where African music can travel. There's no telling what impact it can have, not just on Africans, but on people, globally. And that's what I really hold on to when it comes to our music, and that we're very particular about holding that honesty, holding that integrity, and making sure that it's a consistent kind of, string that weaves itself into every single thing that we make and touch.
Think about the history itself of just freedom of speech in this country. It's activism. It's activism to make something, right? Use culture to say things. In a time where people were being shot down, not very different from recent years in our country, for saying things that need to be said, right? It was important to establish how other mediums can say things, keep people motivated, keep people on path, and on topic and on subject, and to remind, I think a lot of the music at that time reminded that generation of what their kind of like communal cause was, in a way that I think we might struggle in these times.
Sele qabele qithapha ayinguqo qithapha hayi nguqongqothwane sele qabele qithapha hayi nguqongqothwane sele qabele qithapha hayi nguqongqothwane iqha lendlela uqongqothwane iqha lendlela uqongqothwane iqha lendlela uqongqothwane iqha lendlela uqongqothwane sele qabele qithapha hayi nguqongqothwane sele qabele qithapha hayi nguqongqothwane sele qabele qithapha hayi nguqongqothwane sele qabele qithapha hayi nguqongqothwane.
I struggle to think of the ways in which she was kind of memorialized. And yeah, just like thinking about how she fits into, you know, memories and how it's really hard to like place her in the same way that I can place Mandela.
Sure.
Right? Even though she did so much, she was speaking at the UN, she was essentially like just like Mandela, putting, you know, couldn't really be, you know, with her family in the ways that a lot of other people were. Right? I think it's Tshepo who tells of a moment where they were leaving Belgium. It was him and Hugh Masekela, and she was walking. She was kind of like sending them off in the airport, and I think she asked him, "Do you think I'll be able to come home?" Because, you know, he was going home and he was going to New York, but I don't really know if he was exiled at the time, to the extent that she was. But how, you know, and he tells of how sad he was for her because he really didn't know, and that we don't really engage how much pain she was in all the time that she was producing and using her voice for this country.
Towards the keyboard. Oh, okay. What's your mic? Yeah, cool. Thank you.
We are doing what we can. We are doing as much as, I think, obviously, because, you know, the times were different then. There were limitations to the, you know, what her activism could look like, I'm sure, for her own safety, for her own well-being. There are certain limitations to what our activism can look like at certain points and certain times. But we're doing as much as we can now, I think, to articulate to what some of these issues are, what some of these struggles are, amongst those who can, so that we can really try and spread the message as wide as possible. What I love about what we've done is that it's been so much of who we are that it hasn't felt like activism, it hasn't felt like work, and that makes me so happy, because it makes me feel like I'm doing it, one, with the right person, but that I'm doing it in the right time, you know, for the right causes, and the main cause being me, my happiness, my well-being, my peace of mind. So I would tell them that you did great, you did a good job, you did a sterling job, and we're just, you know, continuing the work.